Lee, so wonderful to have the opportunity to talk to you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, good. I'm delighted to be here. Very excited about the release of the film.
Yeah, well, this one kind of really scared me. Not even so much for the horror element, just like the creepy person that you let into your house. And oh my goodness, because I kind of work, this is the funniest thing because I work part-time with a catering company and we do
Oh,
this
right.
all the time and we send chefs to people's homes. I don't know now. This is really scary, Lee.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry that it's that sort of it's that familiar.
It's very familiar. But I want to start off by asking, how did this idea even come about? Like Roger, of course, wrote the script, and then you collaborated. Where did it even stem from his mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, Roger and I have been collaborators for a long time, and we worked on a number of television projects. And then this opportunity arose to make a film, and then we discussed sort of what kind of film we wanted to make. And I guess it was the product of the three P's, as I call it. One was passion, which is a passion for horror in the first place. I used to watch horror films as a young boy, and probably inappropriate horror films, to be honest. But there you go.
That's okay.
And then I got switched on again in the last 10 years, in the last decade. This new crop of horror films that we've seen, as sort of represented by Jordan Peele or Ari Aster, elevated horror films, I guess.
Absolutely.
So there was a passion for that. There was also a passion for Wales. And both Roger and I speak Welsh, and we're passionate Welshmen, and have always wanted to tell Welsh stories to a global audience. And then an element of pragmatism came into it, actually, thinking, okay, if we are going to tell a culturally specific story, how can we transcend cultural and linguistic barriers? And it seemed to us that the horror genre would be ideal as a sort of a Trojan horse that could get our message and our story into cinemas and homes worldwide, because there's this massive following for horror films, which is
for sure.
Immense. So there was that, and then there was a sense of politics, which we, in my work and in Roger's, I mean, we've both done a number of television projects, and the thing with television is it's not as authored as film. So I guess we were desperate to say something about the world in which we live, and hence, on one level, the film is very specifically Welsh. It's singularly Welsh in the kind of message that it gives about Welsh history and the way that we have used our resources here, and the way that we have sort of abused the earth. And also it seemed to be a great metaphor for what we're currently doing on a global scale to our environment now. So it's those were the motivating factors, I guess, behind the piece of work. And then Roger went away and wrote it, and then he came to me with a draft, and then we worked on that draft, and then after a bit of back and forth, we were ready to go.
Oh, wow. Amazing. And then, you look at this cast, they're all so good. But Annis, she really stands out because she, obviously, as I said, she plays this character where she comes in, she's going to be serving the family and everything. But, what she does is pretty horrific. Yet we feel sorry for her. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm when this character was born, I knew immediately who I wanted to play this role, because Annis is a superlatively great actress. I mean, she has the ability to communicate things without actually doing anything, and effectively that was what Caddy does. She's an observer within that home, and we experience that house and that family through her eyes, actually. And what's quite interesting about her, I think, is that as an audience, because she is so still and quiet, she draws us in. It's a bit like going to an art gallery when there's an object in the center of the room and there's a lot of space around it, and then we're sort of drawn to that object. And I think that's what happens with Caddy, really. And then, for me, you see, I think the key moment in terms of us empathizing with her is that final shot, where it dawns on us that actually, yes, she has committed these heinous crimes against this family, and she's slain them. But actually, we see the cost that her actions have caused her, and we see the effect and the impact that it has on her as she looks deep into the lens, and therefore deep into our souls. It's a proper kind of, she's there to do that to the family. She's a sort of she gets into their subconscious, and then at the end, hopefully, she gets into our subconscious and asks us the question, why are we treating the earth like this?
Yeah, I have to wrap. I have one more question, but I want to, now as you're talking about your influences and people like, I was thinking Jordan Peele and all that, but I wondered, were you influenced by the movie Parasite?
Well, interestingly, so a lot of people see Parasite in this film, but we shot the film in June, July 2019. And the first time I knew anything about Parasite was when I had a streamer via BAFTA here in the UK, and I watched it on Boxing Day in 2019. And when I saw it, I thought, oh no, everybody's going to think that I've been influenced by Parasite. But actually, I knew nothing of Parasite.
It's interesting.
It's just a happy it's a happy coincidence. But this is quite interesting about, people often ask me who my influences are. And I tend to sort of flip the question and ask them, actually, who do you think my influences are? Because some people see Parasite, other people see, in terms of the cold precision of the work, there's a sense it's a bit like a Hanukkah piece, maybe. Other people see Yorgos Lanthimos, other people see Ari Aster. It fascinates me what people read into the piece. And I think that's partly going back to what I was talking about, about Caddy. I think that's partly to do with the slow burn nature of it. And I'm a big fan of slow cinema, and it does people start to project their own things onto the piece, which I think is great. That's what art is good for, right?
Yeah, and the house is a character in itself, like finding that location.
We were blessed. I mean, sometimes the filmmaking gods smile on you, right? And in this instance, they really did, because I was keen to make a film that didn't feel like British stroke English horror. I wanted to make a film that felt sort of Korean or Japanese in style. And then I did some research on the internet. I found this house. We went to Mid Wales, to the Midlands of Wales, and found this house that is very much influenced by Japanese architecture. And it was just a gift. And it was a bit like, well, okay, we have to come here. And then Roger went about and kind of incorporated certain aspects of the architecture within the script. So, for example, the meditation room, that was not in the original script, but we saw it as a location and thought, this is too good to be true. We must incorporate this in the script.
Yeah, well, you've done a bang up job for a directorial debut. I tell you, it's really, really good. And it really will make me think about if I have a dinner party, who I'm going to let into my house to help me serve. That is for sure.
Just you be
Congratulations on it.
Thank you very much.
Seriously, I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just do everything myself. Keep it safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks for your time.
Recording stopped.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Okay, bye, guys. Bye. Thank you.